So right now I am Senior Vice President of Development at Paramount Television Studios, which I've been doing for about 5.5 years. Part of my job is, looking for new sort of TV properties for us to get involved with and invest in. There's definitely a creative part of the job, which is kind of identifying the material and working closely with the writer and the producers and the filmmakers to get it to where it needs to be in order to get sold and set up and to get produced. But your job when you work in development sort of touches a lot of different departments, from business affairs to production to casting to post-production to music. So you kind of get to be involved in all these kind of different facets of a TV show getting made. This was a long time ago, but I have to say one of my favorites, just because it was fascinating, was the movie Slumdog Millionaire. So being involved in that, and I know that's a while ago, but that's one that's really special to me just because it was a really strange and thrilling experience to be a part of the long journey of that movie. And I would say more recently, I was involved in the show, The Haunting of Hill House. Getting to be a part of those shows more recently was really special and exciting. And yeah, I was involved with those from from pretty much the very beginning. There are times as an executive where you say, "Got it, boss. I hear you. No problem. I'll make this go away." And then there's times when you say to your boss, like, "I really, really think you need to reconsider this and you need to do this." And then that was one of those times. And then, so to do that and see it come to life and take on a life of its own and find an audience was really cool. Film and television are very, very collaborative things to do. It really takes a village to make a movie or a TV show. And there are tons of cooks in the kitchen. And a big part of my job, working in development, you're a creative person, but you're also a shrink, and you're a negotiator and a mediator. And I would say what is always challenging on every show is navigating all of the different personalities at play and all of the interpersonal politics on each show, because each show has its unique combination of personalities and politics that go with them. And being able to navigate that minefield on each show and trying to get all of these different personalities who are creative personalities. So with that comes a lot of sensitivities, with artistic temperaments. Trying to get all of those people with different agendas, all rowing in the same direction, is very hard, and is part of what makes the job never boring. You can see that on screen sometimes, and that's a bad thing. And it's not always something that's in your control. But when you're in my job, you're trying to do everything you can to get everyone on the same page and on the same team, moving in the same direction. But it doesn't always happen, and there's only so much you can really control that. So that's a tricky part of the job for sure. I think OU appealed to me because it was kind of just far enough away from home. I knew I needed to kind of push myself out of my comfort zone a little bit. So I liked that OU would allow me to do that, but also was not so far away that I could go home if I, really wanted to. So, and, I knew a lot of other people who were going there, and I didn't know exactly what I wanted to major in. I was pretty sure it was communications, or somewhere in that area. I didn't know if it was journalism. I didn't know if it was advertising. I didn't know if it was media. But I knew that OU had really great departments in those areas and was very strong in those areas. So that really appealed to me too. So it was that combination of reasons that kind of brought me to OU at the time. I would say the thing that I really cherished the most in terms of my education at OU was a couple of professors who really pushed me in really great ways and, forced me to think very critically. And, when I would present projects and presentations and stuff would, in a nice way, give me a lot of really strong constructive criticism and help me understand where the holes were in my work so that I could do better next time, and asked questions that really pushed me to think in ways that I hadn't thought about things before. Working out here in television and film, it's a tough business. I mean, it can be very rewarding when you make things that are great and that people love, but it can be a very punishing business at the same time. And having teachers who at the time pushed me in the right ways, I think helped prepare me for that. Certainly take advantage of the Ohio and LA program, because what the students I've met in the Ohio and LA program are learning, they're going to come out of that so much more wise and educated and prepared to work in the business than I was when I moved out here. I learned so much of this sort of just on the ground out here and just learning by doing and sort of finding my way through. But I think the program that has been set up in a way that it really gives you a lot of tools and resources before you start working out here. So I would say absolutely. But I would say don't just stop at taking advantage of the program. I would say use the program as a way to meet and network with alum who are out here working in the business as much as humanly possible. Take full advantage, because I know it's like an old cliche that it's about who you know, but it really is. The industry is really, relationships are the bedrock of this industry. And I would say that anything you can do to get a head start on making those relationships, get in touch with whatever alumni you can and meet with them, have coffee with them or Zoom with them if you can't see people in person. But take advantage of the relationships you can make with alumni and OU contacts out here, because that stuff is really important and will really set you up, because those relationships are, they're worth their weight in gold in terms of getting a job out here. So I would say do that program if it's available to you, and use the program to really start forging relationships with people in the industry out here.